presentation in the morning when God has come face to face with his creatures. Isn't it? That's the truth. And the creatures were fleeing and he was following. You see, that is going to mark God who is always coming. And to this day, you talk about the second coming, isn't it? Yes, that marked the beginning of God always coming and you always fleeing. Sin did not change God. Sin changed you. Had sin changed God, none of us would be sitting here today. I'm telling you the truth, no matter what. It would have been a new planet and new creatures. We have no any idea what there will be. But because sin has never changed God towards you, he followed Adam. Adam, it is you, please stay there. Don't make any other step. You see, that's precisely what the state of sin does. It brings a barrier between the creator and the creature. Before even Adam committed any adultery, before he broke any Sabbath, before he stole anything, before he fought with anybody, already barrier came. You have been reading Isaiah and say, God can't hear your prayers because of your sins. But of course, that's the language he has definitely to use. Now, this evening, we are going to deal with a very controversial translation of the encounter of the two. The creature and the creator have come face to face. The creature have lost faith in the creator, but the creator has withdrawn his righteousness because that's the only way he can do it. He still loved that creature. You see, that's what's going to make the difference. Now, I want to expose you a bit to the problems which we face when we are translating. It is not easy to translate a language, its own syntax with its own syntax. Syntax, it means the combination of grammar in that particular language. And you are transferring it to maybe English, which has also its own syntax. The first rule they tell us, you obey the rules of syntax where you are translating into. Because if you obey the other one, English will repair it, for example. In Semitic languages, like Hebrew, Greek, name them, Syriac, there's so many of them there. They have verbs, which we call reflexive verbs, which English does not have very much in Anglo-Saxonism, you see. And it is very hard to give you an example of them. But let me, first of all, allow me to teach you simple English. This formerly in Kenya, it was P7 English. And I don't know which English level now it is. In a simple sentence, in English, there must be a noun. Yes. Or two nouns. Let us first of all define a noun. You don't have to go to Webster Dictionary to know what a noun is. A noun simply means it's the name of anything on earth, visible or invisible, simple. You are a noun. The eye is a noun, and you are made of nouns. The ear is a noun. The hand is a noun. Everything upon you, once it is to be named, it is a noun. Are you following me? Yes. Simple. You don't have to go to Webster and then begin to memorize, as they used to tell us, what's a noun? No. It is just a name of anything. Now, that any noun gives out actions. Now, when I do like this, I am acting. And those actions from that particular noun, they are called verbs. Simple. Don't go again to Webster and look for a word verb. The word verb, it simply means the action which comes out of a noun. When I do like this, I'm verbing. When I laugh, I am verbing. When I am preaching, I'm verbing. When I gesture, I am verbing. So every action or act from a noun is what we call a verb. I'm telling you a simple English sentence, but yet it is complete. Now, usually those actions in English, they are directed to another verb. I am preaching to you, isn't it? Yes, you are. They are directed to another noun. You are nouns, and I am a noun. And this noun is verbing by preaching to you. Hence, you are the object. You are the recipient. Already, a simple sentence has a subject, a noun which is acting. Like this, I am now verbing. Anything you do, even looking, you are verbing. You see? Sleeping, you are verbing. Simple. Your life is made of verbs. Until you die, and you make the last biggest verb, which you never repeat. That's why you say he is dead, and dying is a verb, and that is query. But as long as you are living, you live by verbing. Eating is verbing. Okay. Now, English has a problem. It doesn't have many of these reflexive verbs. Reflexive verbs means a subject which is saying something, that something is coming back to it. And that's where the translators have a problem. Because when they translate that action literally, as a Hebrew or Greek may say, or Hebrew, English will repair it. You will say, this is not English. This is Hebrewism and or Semitism, but not English. And English will repair it. Now, KG, if your Bible, you go to translate it from English to Swahili, you also run in some syntactical problems. So, by the time the word reaches to a Swahili listener, it has suffered twice. You see, it has suffered from Hebrew to English, and it is suffering from English to Swahili. And if there's a Muganda translating to Luganda, it is suffering the third time. So you can't get it very well. So what am I trying to say? When God stood before this destitute couple, this one, there's no way you can translate it as reflexive. The nearest in English you can come to reflexive action, very rare, but the nearest is to say, I am bathing. When you say I am bathing, who is the subject? Who is the subject? You who is bathing, isn't it? Who is producing the action of bathing? You. And who is the recipient of that action? That is how closer you can become to the reflexive actions. So when God stood face to face on that fatal day, he made the following statements, especially to Adam. These reflexive verbs are more to Adam, who was the representative of the entire humanity. Since you have lost faith in me, you see, consequences are inevitable. Some of the quick consequences are thorns will prickle you, but that is English. That's why you say curses, because God is saying prickle you, as if he's revenging, as if it is a punishment. He's going to say thorns will prickle for ourselves. But English can't make sense like that. You can't translate a thing like that and English accepts it. But yet the Semitic languages accept it. You see, the soil will cease to give you food, to give food for ourselves. And Adam, he was that soil. And in the soil, we shall return for ourselves. Are you following me? Have you picked the meaning anyway? Oh, it has become too complicated. First of all, God was saying, no thorn will prick Adam without pricking him. The soil will not only deny Adam food, but he too, it will deny him food. And Adam is soil, they will return for themselves. And if God did not return with Adam in that soil, none of you would be saved. That means on that fatal day, God irrevocably tied his destiny with your destiny. You see, since he created you, he said, I'm going to go through the process it takes. For him, he knew the terrible pain and consequences the whole universe is going to go through for this planet. But he irrevocably tied his destiny with your destiny. It can't change. It is you who again will say, leave me alone. But for him, he will always call. In the whole way, he's always calling. Especially now, the call is, since the state of sin, it became very urgent. So that you may know that you are not alone. Now, God did not tell Adam that do this, do that, so that you may not die. He assured him that you will die. Because the absence of the righteousness of God, it means death. It cannot be eliminated. You can fast, you can pray until daybreak, you can do anything. You can come to church and you say, for me, I have to stay in the church for a week, as now, yeah, sure enough, there's nothing wrong. But death, you can't stop it by anything. The only being which can eradicate death is God himself. That's why Apostle Paul says, the last enemy of ours at the consummation, it will be death. That means the state of sin, it is totally demolished. And this planet is recreated anew on the second creation. That's the only way. And God's righteousness is ruling supremely back on this planet. That's the only way death can cease. Now, don't ask me whether Adam understood what God was saying. And it is not important whether Adam understood or not. You see, it isn't his business to understand. Because God reveals for even future people to come, so that people may know. You see? And God irrevocably showed grace for the first time. Grace. Now, some of you may have a problem with this word grace. Since we are not used to analyze terms. None of us are specialists in linguistics. And nobody has ever informed you that you can't go to heaven because you don't know linguistics. That's not a qualification for heaven. But it is a qualification for some calling, so that we know precisely what it means. You cannot have grace, and again you can praise good works. Grace means favor you don't deserve, but you are mine. Okay? If I did what you deserve, you can't be mine. Are you following me? Yes. That's what grace means. You see? And we will find it more in the New Testament, being used very extensively. You see? At first in the Garden of Eden, God showed grace. Actually, some commentators say that even Lucifer was shocked. Because God had only two alternatives at that day. To destroy the whole planet just like this, with all its creation, it has become useless. Actually, it was. Because from that time, animals will die, which have never committed adultery. Trees will die, which have never broken the Sabbath. Flowers will die, which have never lied. You people, you don't understand the extent of the state of sin. That's why you are joking with some of these things. They are deeper than what you think. I'm telling you that I am presenting to you a problem. I've been thinking about it for 45 years. And I have been doing so for 45 years as a Bible interpreter. Whether you like me or hate me, that's what I am. And you will never be me. That is true. You will never be me. You can only choose either to pay attention or not. That's all. But you will never be me. Seriously. You see? So, since you invited me, let me educate you a bit. No, seriously. And I am very serious indeed on this issue. Look at the religions. All religions teach good works. There's no religion which doesn't teach good works. Now, let's first of all handle Islam, which you are now also handling here now. You see? Islam has succeeded to eradicate theft and adultery almost 99% in its society. If you are looking for a clean works religion, you know where to go. Are you following me? I am now towards answering you what is Christianity. I will never leave this gate before I answer you what is Christianity. In simple terms, in one sentence. You don't have to say you don't have to say Sabbath. Oh no, food. But baptism. Oh no, the glasses of water. Those are not religion. Those are just healthy issues. Don't confuse healthy issues with religion. You see? But now, yeah, those are the healthy issues. You see? But don't turn them into religious issues. Really, please be careful. Be very careful. All started my friend by the name Ahmed bin Muhammad bin Mukhtar bin Muqtada. And I asked him, how come you have 4 names? He says, you see, for us here, when your grandfather is famous, you retain the name. When the next one is also famous, you retain the name. You're going to retain to show people that you are coming from a serious family and active family in religious businesses, affair. Here was a young man, a radicalized Muslim to the core. Some of you are younger. You are very young, all of you who are seated here, which is good because some of us who are aging, we know that the church will continue. Because if all of you look like me, then I will be very much worried. You see? But now, I am very comfortable when I see young people. But in the early 70s, there was what is called Fatah group, Yasser Arafat. If by chance you have ever heard of the name of Yasser Arafat, who was the Palestinian leader, they migrated to Lebanon in a valley down there.